for that age, kindergarten. They're just so precious and sweet
Hmm.
at that time. So really enjoy. I miss that. I'm
Hmm.
actually looking forward to grandkids one day. Not
Oh.
anytime soon, not yet, but hopefully another 5 to,
Yeah, you
6,
will.
7, 8 years. That'll be really nice. So
Great. You will. You will. I know that you will be a great grandma. Yeah. Yeah,
thank
I
you. I
have
gotta
to
come
tell
up
all
with a
the.
cool name though. They gotta call me Gma or something cool.
You don't want to be called a grandma?
Wait, no, Nana, don't you want to be
No.
Nana?
I'm
That
not
always
sure what
reminds me
my.
of banana for some reason. I don't know why. I think banana when I hear Nana.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh,
I
well,
know I'm silly.
no, no, don't worry, it's okay. I'm called Nana because my name Adriana in Colombia and in Latin America
Oh,
for
that's
in some
cute.
Latin American, yeah, I am
Oh,
called Nana.
see? Oh, I
It's
feel bad now. See?
no, no, don't feel bad because I also my brain also does that. So don't feel bad. I don't feel any kind of bad thing about it.
I don't
Nana
mean literally
banana.
when I say
Yeah, don't
that, just
worry.
in a funny way.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
know.
sure what my
Don't.
granddaughter's going to call me. She's just 10 months old, so we haven't decided yet.
Mm,
She'll probably make
oh.
that decision herself.
You
There you
I'll
gotta
go.
let
let
I
them
her
like
have
that.
that
decide.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, let the
that's
babies
true.
decide what to call me.
That's right.
Hmm.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I had to tell all the moms in my daughter's school to give my daughter because I can't be there for the graduation. So as I know that she will be like a little bit yeah, disrupted by the thing that she will see all moms and dads there, and she will be with her grandma and her dad. I asked all the moms in her school, please give my daughter a hug because I have been telling her that whenever she misses me physically, that she can hug her dad or her grandma, but I think that she will need extra hugs on that day. So please, if you have the chance, please give my daughter a hug and say that I send those hugs to her. And
She feels,
everyone was, of course I will. So it's all joyful and funny. So beautiful. It will be a
she'll
beautiful
feel
day for
them.
her.
She feels them.
Yeah, yeah, she's learning how to not feel the separation, even though it seems like it. Yeah, I'm teaching her how to feel connected to me in several ways. So let's give a little bit of more time. Are you ready, honey?
No, I'm
Oh,
ready.
okay.
Good morning, everybody. This morning I've got lesson 179. This is lesson summary of 167 and 168. There is but one life, and that I share with God. Lesson 168 is God's grace is given me. I claim it now. And God is but love, and therefore so am I. So the first lesson here in review, we've got one more review day in this round. That's 180. And then we start a whole new week on Thursday, a whole new set of lessons. Okay, lesson 167 is there is one life, and that I share with God. God is but love, and therefore so am I. 179 is God's grace is given me. I claim it now. God is but love, and therefore so am I. General instructions are begin and end each session with the theme behind this review lesson, which is God is but love, and therefore so am I. The central idea from lesson 167 is there's but one life, and that I share with God. Consider how this lesson clarifies and enhances the theme that God is but love, and therefore so am I. And next, we'll review the central theme from Lesson 168, which is God's grace is given me. I claim it now. How does this lesson clarify and enhance the theme that God is but love, and therefore so am I? Remember to end your session with the repeating of the general theme that God is but love, and therefore so am I. Throughout your day, remember the words, but go beyond the words. Share the experience of being that love, and you will create a great day for yourself and your world. I'm going to go back and read a little bit. Well, I'm going to read the notes from lesson 167. That's the one that there is one life, and that one life, that, I'm putting in parentheses, that one life, I share with God. All right, the notes here, the highlights from the lesson: ideas leave not their source. This is where we talked about death, the fixed belief that ideas could leave their source and take on qualities that their source doesn't contain, becoming different from their own origin, apart from their source in kind, as well as distance, time, and form. Mind, which is only spirit, cannot make the physical. All right, to the notes. Notes from lesson 167, to lesson 167. There is one life, and that I share with God. If you asked people what is the opposite of life, most would reply death. But when your body ceases to function, does your essence cease to exist? Once again, ACIM has a rather strange definition for the term death. Death is the fixed belief that ideas can leave their source and take on qualities that the source does not contain, becoming different from their own origin, apart from their source in kind as well as in distance and form. I can't believe I picked that one out. Sorry, Tom. This definition for death stresses the idea that you are mind and not the physical body. Death is any feeling of unhappiness. In time, death takes on many forms, such as sadness, anxiety, fear, lack of trust, and what we typically associate with death as being the death of the body. God's will is that you be happy. When you are not happy, you have denied that you are part of the shared mind of God. You have claimed that you have a different will from God's will. Unhappiness or death denies that you live. It claims that you're a body. It's an erroneous belief of your egoic mind. You are a thought of God, and thought is in the realm of mind. It is your mind that believes that you're a body, and therefore it is the mind's beliefs that need correction. Death is the thought that you could be separate from God, and you could change and develop attributes that your source does not possess. Ideas remain united with their source. You can only extend what your source contains. When your mind denies its source, it claims it does not know itself and is basically asleep. When you sleep, You're not aware of who you really are. You fail to recognize your higher self. The mind has the power to create or imagine anything it desires. When it is awake, it creates like itself. When it sleeps, it imagines what it's not. Since you cannot be something you're not, mind cannot make the physical body. When you perceive yourself to be something that seems to die, this indicates that your mind is asleep, for it has denied what it truly is. The opposite of life must be another form of life. To live is to be aware of whom you really are. An awakened mind is one that knows its source, the reality as his higher self and its holiness. To be holy is to be whole, which is the recognition that you are part of the indivisible one self. Since life is the awareness of what you are, the opposite of life must be the unawareness of what you are, which the Course references as a sleeping mind. God does not sleep. Therefore, what God creates can only be an awakened mind. God's creations can neither share nor possess what God does not give, nor make conditions which God does not share with them. Sleep cannot be real. Your true reality must be the mind that is awakened, which your higher self is. What a sleeping mind imagines cannot be real, and has no ability to change the truth. When a sleeping mind awakens, it finds that nothing has changed, even though we dream some crazy stuff, don't we? Yet even a sleeping mind possesses creative power to be or imagine anything it desires. A mind that sleeps pretends it's something that it's not. A sleeping mind assumes an alien power that it does not have. It believes mind can create the physical. It believes it can be a body and create a false condition that is not an attribute of its source, with a capital S. A sleeping mind makes differentiation for a different autonomous existence. It believes it is separate and different from its source. A sleeping mind dreams of the illusion of time. Time becomes the game board of the sleeping mind's imagination. Opposites appear to exist in time, and they take on a fearful reality of their own. Time's an interval in which what seems to happen never has occurred, and the changes that took place in time are without substance. The events are non-existent. When the mind awakens, the illusion of time disappears, and the mind continues as it always has. Nothing has changed. Life, like truth, has no opposite. Your reality cannot be a sleeping mind, for God creates only awakened minds. In time, we are unaware of our higher self, its holiness and unity with the one self, capital O and capital S. When we sleep, we dream of time, believe that we are the body, that death is life's opposite, and that ideas can leave their source and become something different and separate from its source. This is not true. God's thoughts have no opposite, and therefore we remain changeless and eternal. Ideas never leave their source. We are one life because we share one source, which is the mind of God. Tom's question is, in time, what's the opposite of death? And he's got a hint. Death is the illusion of your existence, leaving a physical body. In time, birth is the illusion of your essence entering a physical body. Thank you, Tom.
Okay,
All right, I'm going to
so,
copy this question. Go ahead, Tom.
well, okay, go. I was going to say, go ahead, finish. You were just going to copy, right?
That was it.
Yeah.
I was just
Okay.
saying out loud what I'm physically going to do, and I don't need to do that. We're all
Okay.
good. Thank you.
So, lesson 179, again, the main idea is uh, God is but love, and therefore so am I. Lesson 167, there is one life, and that I share with God. And 168 is God's grace is given to me. I claim it now. Grace is this notion of remembering the truth. Grace is the idea that in time and space, in the illusion of separation, grace is the ability to see the love of God in a world of seeming hate and fear, in a world of illusion, and be able to see that this is all just a dream, all a process of reawakening for our learning experiences. Lesson 167 says that there is one life, and as they define death, which is the idea that you could be something other than as God created you, life has to be the realization that you remain as God created you, perfect, whole, and complete. So today, what we want to maybe focus on is this idea that God is but love, and therefore so am I, and realize that as given free will, you get to decide what part of the curriculum being your reawakening process, the process of relearning and removing the blocks that we've placed from our awareness of what love is, that reawakening, and that is a decision that you get to make where you want to place your attention, where what you want to bring into your reality or your experience. So that course is asking you to realize the truth that you are a spiritual being, an essence, an individuated aspect of God having an earthly experience. So why don't you get comfortable and start just becoming aware of your body and become aware of the breath. And with each breath, take in the life force that animates the body, that animates your awareness, that is part of your consciousness. So breathe in the love of God. Breathe in this idea that there is one life. For as you breathe in, you connect that life force with the truth of what you really are. So breathe in the love of God, and you can release all notions that you don't know what you are, that you are mistook the body for your essence. Breathe in the love of God, the grace of God, and accept the truth that you are part of that individuated oneness of all that is. I breathe in the love of God. I breathe in the grace that leads me back to the truth. And now I realize that I am spirit, that I am the truth and the light of my world. I accept the grace of God, for I am that truth, that oneness, that spiritual essence. And although in time and space we appear to need this game token to be a placeholder, the body is merely a neutral communication device that allows me to commune with the one self, to commune with the individuated aspects that have come on this same adventure to explore and hone their skills in being and demonstrating in time and space what love would have me do. I am part of that one self. There is one life, and that I share with God. There is one truth, and that I share with God. There is one mind, and that I share with God. There is one mind, and that I share with all of life, all individuated aspects of that one self. I share that mind with my sisters, with my brothers, with all shapes, forms, all even sleeping minds that appear to not know what they truly are, that in time and space appear to be asleep, not recognizing their true spiritual magnificence. I accept the truth of what I am, and I extend that same truth to my world, that my world will be able to reawaken to the truth of their spirit, true spiritual magnificence. God is but love, and therefore so am I. God's grace is given me. I choose it now. God's grace is the acceptance of the truth that I remain as God created, that even in this illusion of time and space, these plays, these acts that we go through are just learning experiences, lessons designed to help us reawaken to the truth of what we really are. They provide learning lessons that let us demonstrate in the imagined world of separation what love would have me do. That allows me to demonstrate how I can learn to control, manage, and eliminate fear. And what is fear but false evidence appearing real? What is fear It is mistaking the body, the illusion of separation for what I truly am. I accept the grace of God. I accept that truth. I accept the grace of God. And I extend that truth to my world. I will not mistake the roles that the various actors play on this dimension of time and space for what they truly are. I accept the love of God. I accept that grace. And now I see that even in time and space, even in the play, the movie that appears to be happening, I can still see the love of God in what others might perceive as a world of seeming hate and fear. This world is my place, this place where I get to hone my skill in being love and free. This place where I get to imagine that I could be something other than the truth of what I am. That I could imagine that I was separate, that I was a sin, that I lacked, that I had to earn my way back to salvation, that I was an earner, not a learner, that I had somehow lost my divine inheritance. I accept the grace of God and realize my divine inheritance, what I truly am, my spiritual DNA, my essence is only love, is what God created. As God created, part of the one self, indivisible, two sides, one inseparable. God caused, I, God caused my sisters, my effect. Differentiation does not mean different. We as individuated aspects of consciousness can place our focus on various aspects of the one self, but our spiritual DNA, our essence is dying. Our essence is love. Our essence is the truth that we remain as God created us, perfect, whole, and complete. I accept the love of God, and therefore I am the love. I am love. I am the truth. And today I make a decision to remember that truth. If fear arises, I call on the Holy Spirit to reframe and help me remember to laugh, to realize that I've been really just assigned roles to play in time and space, but that the roles we play are all designed to reawaken sleeping minds to their spiritual magnificence. Today, I make the decision to play my roles, to ask the director, the Holy Spirit, what would love have me do, and go about reducing any illusion of fear, go about helping my sisters, my brother, my world minimize their fear, and thus help all minds that perceive themselves to be separate to realize the oneness. Thoughts never leave their source. I extend the truth of what I am to my world, and I receive that same truth, for I can only give what I possess. And today I choose to remember the truth of what I really am. There is one life, and that I share with God. God's grace is given me. I choose to claim. God's grace is given me. I choose to extend that down. An extension of that truth allows me to co-create and extend the truth to all my world. I accept the love. I am. And as we make a decision today to realize that today we're going to be given roles to play, and all that we need to realize is that as these circumstances come our way, we will play our role as it was designed. For your path is the perfect path to reawakening to the truth of who you are. No blame, no shame, no guilt, just the son, the child of God, playing in this time and space, reawaken to the truth of their spiritual magnificence. Everyone on their own perfect path, each playing their role. The miracle is a chain of interconnected circumstances, cause and effect, that ultimately result in the atonement, the at one minds are joined. And today I extend the truth to myself and my world. And when I do that, I become the messenger for God, for my true self, my higher self, the Holy Spirit, and I share that message. There is one life, and that I share with God. God's grace is given me. I claim it now. And because I claim that, I can extend and co the truth that God is only love, and therefore so am God is only love, and therefore all is that love. And with that realization that you get to decide what you will place your awareness on, how you will choose to see your world. Today, make the decision to look with the eyes of Christ. Today, I will not mistake the role that the various individuated aspects of the one self have been assigned to play in this stage, this game, to reawaken to the truth of what we really are. And as you make that decision to be the light for your work, to extend the truth, just become aware of the game token, the box that we're going to use for this day to be that communication device, to beam the truth that fear is false evidence appearing real, that although individuated aspects can pretend that they're a dog, they remain as God created, perfect, whole, and complete. And as you become aware of the breath, breathe in the love of God, for that is what you breathe in, the life force, the chi, the prana. Breathe that in as you remember the truth of what you really are. And as you reanimate the game token and reconnect, just do a little cosmic orbit and bring that energy through the body, bring it up the soles of the feet, up the front of the leg, back through the spine, up around the crown chakra, back through the front, down the back of the leg. Reconnect to the earth and send the energy over to light back through the soles of the feet, reconnecting to this dimension of time and space, this world of beliefs, the world of perception. And as you breathe in and reconnect to that game token, realize that the game token is your placeholder, and that to extend the truth and to offer that vision, that Christ vision, to all your world. I accept the love of God. I extend. And as you take a deep breath and eventually realize that what you look upon is God's beloved child with whom is well pleased on their own perfect journey of reawakening, that we are connected and share the truth and hold that truth up to all your sisters. I accept the love of God. I extend truth. I accept the grace now. I claim it for my own, and I give that same grace to the God in me. Recognizes the God in you. Create a great day for your world and yourself. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate those meditations. I really appreciate the effort you've put into this book. It's been very, very helpful to help me understand A Course in Miracles a little bit clearer and be able to apply it to my life. So I really appreciate that. The question you had at the end of your notes at 167 was, in time, what's the opposite of death? And you came back to it over and over. I underlined it in the notes several times. It really does boil down to that. And choosing life means for me, means choosing the next step that I got to take in order to do everything I can for myself and the life that I brought to this world. The truest miracle we can really participate in. So, Have a wonderful summer day, everybody. I'm just going to wrap up my little bit by saying thank you for being here. And tomorrow we will read lesson 180. It's the last in this grouping, and then we'll be off to the races with a new area. Thank you so much for joining us again. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. Janine and Adriana, go ahead.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Tom. Um, wow. And for me, it's just always a reminder that we have a decision, that it's a decision every moment, every day, every second. And it's how we create the creative mind and deciding in this moment, how am I going to see myself? How am I going to see this moment? What am I going to do? What am I going to think? Because sometimes, when we know now that we know that we co-create with God, that we have a choice to, okay, decide, I know that God loves me. Um, I know to accept God's grace in this moment, to not go into, low frequency thinking. I know now. You know how they say once you can't go back, right? So as you all know, I'm the health advocate for my uncle, and there've been a lot of difficult decisions to make and a lot of thinking that went on about him and his demise, I guess, or his as his body starts to fail him, and his mind is, at least as we see it, the way he speaks, the way he interacts, everything is different and changing, and just making decisions for his care, and really, really dealing with thoughts coming through, and at every step picking the highest thought and deciding in this moment, what am I going to think about this? How am I going to see his illness? Knowing that he is not, his body is going back to the earth slowly. I guess we could look at it that way. And but he this is his life. He's not living the opposite. He's not dying per se. He's just losing the body. And in this process, I just want him to be comfortable, and support him in the best way, very best way possible. And how could I do that? I was offered choices of these different nursing homes the reviews were just terrible. I had my son researching them, and we were reading the different reviews, and they got like 1.5, 2 stars, 1.5 star. And like, I don't want him there. He deserves the very best. We love him. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I just kept rejecting what was unwanted, and knowing in my heart I wanted him to be comfortable and supported, well cared for. I just held that in my mind, and just kept the love for my Uncle Simon at the forefront, and knowing I'm loved and supported by God. And I just kept going forward, just kept going forward. I didn't know what was going to happen. They kept kind of gently threatening us in a way that, he was discharged days ago, hint, hint, your bill is, you're not being, Medicare's not covering his stay anymore. So you got to make a decision. Here are these crappy nursing homes, pick one of them because they've accepted them. And I was going to cave at one point. I was going to say, all right, let me just do the right thing and just put him somewhere. And because I'm trying to honor the process. And I said, no, but that's not what I want. I don't want him here. I mean, I do want him to be cared for somewhere, but not here. These are not the places. No, I just kept rejecting them. And lo and behold, somebody called. It was out of the blue. One of the places that I wanted, and we hadn't heard anything from this place. I mean, nothing. And all the other places where I wanted him, they said the beds were full. They didn't accept him for this reason or that reason. I just didn't know what to do except to just be still. And I was still. And we got a call, and it's called the Grand, and it's a beautiful facility. Um, Nobody had even mentioned the name of it. I mean, for days and days. And they mentioned Charlie. Charlie's his best friend up there. He's the holding it down for us when we're not up there. And they mentioned his name, and I thought it was Charlie's doing it. Charlie must have had them call. And when I talked to Charlie, he said no. He says they just called me, and I told him you were the advocate. They should talk to you. And it was this one place called the Sapphire, and he wanted to know, well, what was wrong with the Sapphire, why we didn't want it. And he said, in so many words, and in Bernard's words, he said, I wouldn't have my dog stay there because when you walked in the door, it just it just reeked. I won't invoke that scent in people's minds, but it just smelled terrible. And the staff was nice enough. They were just understaffed and the patients weren't being cared for. My uncle's roommate, when he was there, his bed was soiled clearly and nobody was tending to him. So we were not putting him back there. But yeah, lo and behold, this beautiful facility is one of the top places there, 5 stars, brand new, state of the art. So that's where he's going this morning, everybody. So I said, wow, thank you, God. Um, Thank you for that grace because we were at wit's end. We didn't know what to do. And so if he cannot be rehabbed, gently rehabbed, or we don't expect recovery. We just want him to have a little more movement and comfort because he's like stiff because they've had him in the bed for weeks. And they can transition him right into hospice there. And they've got a great staff. The director there was very wonderful and supportive and kind. And that's what we wanted. And it happened. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. So
Oh my
thanks,
God, that
guys.
it's amazing, Jenny. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. What a wonderful miracle there. I think that it's really how we can really accept things, but keep envisioning what we really want to experience without putting that much resistance in the process. So I think it's a very good example. I was going to share, and in fact has resonance with what you just shared with us, with that beautiful gift that you gave us. That in lesson 167, that it's what the notes we read in Tom's book. To live is to be aware of who you really are. The opposite is the unawareness, and Tom has always insisted on this beautiful idea that our body is a neutral communication device. So it's just a device as it is a plant, as it is a chair, as it is anything that you have around you. It's just neutral communication device. So it seems like the opposite of that is just be aware that everything holds the power of the source. In a chair, what you need to do a chair? You need a tree. In order for that tree to grow enough to be able to be a chair, that tree had to be fed from water, sunlight, soil. It has the entire planet in it. When you sit down and you have your meal in front of you and you have to put on your table, what you're eating has the entire cosmos in it, has water, soil, sunshine there. I mean, it is the entire rainbow in one single piece of whatever you want to have in front of you. That is your body too. In order for your body to be here, it has to combine energy, cells from your mom, from your dad, all the things that they eat, they saw, they experience in life. You are the entire planet. You are the entire world. We are one single thing. So, of course, that when you stop putting resistance and go through the fear without rejecting that you have that fear, you can overcome it and see miracles because you are going through the idea that everything is a part. And then you start to realize that you don't need to know what things are going the way are going, but you can change your mind on how you perceive them, and do some effort in your doing that effort in your mind without putting so much resistance to everything and trying to control everything will give you a different response on the level of the form. What Janine has been doing is not like rejecting the level of the form. It's just that she had a vision for her uncle, a vision, a loving vision, a loving and caring thought in her mind. And she just knew inside of her through intuition that that is not the way that this should be, and it has to be a better way. It has to be a better way. And it's not saying that the others are lousy or whatever, because yeah, it seems like it and fearful, but I'm not willing to take that as my final answer. In some form, she is willing to have whatever it needs to be. I mean, she in what she told us, she was willing to accept the solution that she could have, but she knew inside of her that things could be better. And when you push your fears and you still keep thinking that, yeah, this could be better, this could be better, it is fearful probably right now what is going on, but this could be better and this will be better, and it's just this day. You get through the day, even if you go through the day with fear, but then the next day your mind has a little bit of more strength in how you perceive things. It's building the muscle in the mind. The mind has to understand that everything that the eyes and the senses sees or feel are consequences. So I'm really glad that you have this experience, Janine, with your uncle, because even though it is not like he magically healed his body, it is a miracle to have him going through his situation with that comfort, with that kind of high high level care that he deserves, because all the love that he gave you, it's the love that you have for him too. So I'm really glad to hear this. And yeah, the opposite
Thank
is
you,
all of that is
Adriana.
being aware. Yeah, no, i'm
Thank
really
you.
i'm really glad to hear that. That it's
Thanks so
wonderful, my
much.
friend.
Yes, I feel so happy today.
I was thinking too, what I pick up. Hi, everybody. What I heard you do was decide that you wanted for him what you would want for you, and that act. Wow, like it's not like we can't. You know what I mean? Like that's. I like the idea that when we choose. Yeah, it's really placing the value on the other person as much as yourself. That's really truly what should be our ultimate goal. I heard that, and by you saying no, he deserves more, because you would create more for yourself. So that's a real selfless, even though it sounds selfish in a sense, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Andy. And it felt like if there was so much resistance coming from the hospital staff, and even just gentle pushing from the doctors, just this pushing in a direction I didn't want to go, that I had to fight, but I didn't have to fight it alone. Like I had to keep going back to knowing that I'm loved and supported, knowing that I'm just looking to do what's best for his highest good. And that's it. And staying in that and not letting them shake me from that. And that was I won't even call it a struggle. I guess at times it was, because my mind wanted to fold. My mind wanted to give in to worldly you know, desires, and to conform, to do what the system quote wanted me to do. And I said, no, I'm not doing that.
That would have
Um,
been easy. You thought, in a
yeah.
sense, that would have been easy in the physical sense, right? To just say, and the mental sense, to just let it go. But
Yes, in a sense, yes,
you held your integrity because, again, you realize that the most important, um, part of life is seeing the value in everyone and the God in everyone and the deserving in everyone.
and
Well,
we all
and
deserve that best. We all deserve the best. And it's just knowing that that's what God wants for us. God wants us to be happy and comfortable and loved and supported and cared for and well at the highest level. And we can expect it. We can expect it. And just making that
As
decision in the
easy
moment.
as breathing, exactly. As easy
yeah,
as breathing.
Yes.
although this course isn't in regards to how to manipulate energy and time and space,
Well,
but
no, 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 not being
yeah,
manipulative.
I
Not at
just
all.
wanted to say something
Sure.
is that in time and space, actually, we have the ability to either, uh, I'm going to say, to decide what I'm going to use the term bar magnet we wish to sit on. Uh, there's the idea in Janine's example, there's the idea of proper health care, concerned health care, where people are uh, doing their job uh, and doing it in a loving way. And then there's our magnet of, I'm going to say, trying to check the box and say we've done the bare minimal. And so there's two types of things you can either be sitting on, and probably an example of good health and sickness is a little easier, but uh, sickness, resisting sickness and having good health, we can get the same result, that of having good health. But when we're sitting on the bar magnet of sickness, what we have to do is we have to resist the natural flow that bar magnet is attracting our way, which is sickness. Uh, what Janine sounds like you were trying to do is you were always trying to get back on the bar magnet of loving care. What's best for my uh, uncle in this case? And you're always trying to go for what you desired as opposed to uh, what you didn't want. When you can sit on the bar magnet of what you desire, in this case, this is the bar magnet of a good 5-star facility, as opposed to sitting on the bar magnet that there's a bunch of 1.5 star facilities, and that I'm going to focus my attention on all these negative facilities and try and resist them. If you can move on, and it sounds like you did, sitting on the bar magnet of, I want to attract a 5-star facility. Otherwise, what you desired, what you find is that your energy, your mind is sitting on the bar magnet of 5-star facilities, and the natural flow of the universe of that magnet is attracting possibilities for your uncle that way. So it's got a natural flow attached to that item that you desire now, uh, that is helping you. If you focus your energy on resisting 1-star places because you're sitting on that bar magnet, you've got to be swimming against the current. So although this isn't a class on manifestation on the physical world. Just be aware that it's easier to have things, I'll say, kind of go your way when you're on the bar magnet of something you desire, as opposed to sitting on the bar magnet of something that you resist, because resistance has, you're swimming against the current. Whereas if you could sit on what you desire, you're swimming with the current, and that makes it a whole lot easier to uh, have things so-called work out. So I just
Yeah,
wanted to say that
I
in regards to Janine, does that make
yes.
sense to you?
Well, I appreciate that perspective. I didn't even think of it, and I wasn't even thinking 5 star at all. I just, I guess to put it in A Course in Miracles terminology, I was really thinking love. I was
Yes.
thinking, I went into the space of love, and it's more loving to me for him to be. First, we were happy with Vassar. Vassar's a state of the art, beautiful hospital where he
Mhm.
was receiving top care, and I felt, well, he's getting the best care right now in the hospital, so he's staying here until we figure out where else he can go. You know, um, they were attentive. All his needs were being met. So I just felt it was more loving to leave him there until we figured something else out. And as we were juggling with, hospice versus going home versus rehab, what is the best, most loving way to care for him right now and not go into the space of fear? Fear look like, oh my gosh, where's the money coming from? How much is this going to cost? Um, oh, these people over here, they're pressuring us. They're trying to make us afraid that, oh, if you keep leaving them here, your bill is mounting. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? There was one case manager who was even a little bit cold. So I could have gone into this. I didn't go into the space of fear. I refused to go in the space of fear, and I remain in the frequency of love. And that's how I more looked at it. And then the outcome, I guess the outcome looked like law of attraction, like I attracted this 5 star facility because it really came out of nowhere. Nobody had mentioned the name of them, and they called us. So it was really a beautiful flow of energy. And
Yeah.
then, like you're saying, I like the example you used. But yeah, I wasn't even thinking about 5 star at all. It just was in the flow, I guess, like you said, of the energy of where I was at, and it was
Uh,
just
the,
naturally that it happened that way.
the Course in Miracles, like you said, would say that reality is that there's only the bar magnet of love. In time and space, we've created, through the mass collective consciousness, a bar magnet of fear. And so now in time and space, we appear to have the ability to sit on either of those bar magnets. You simply put it, there's a bar magnet of love with a bunch of subsets, 5 star versus the bar magnet of fear, all the horror stories that we hear about, you know, nursing homes and nursing facilities and stuff like that. But it's really fear, love, love. If you could sit on the bar magnet of love, and Einstein said, the most important thing for anyone to decide is whether the world is a supportive or an unsupportive place, because that will color your world. If you can see the world as a loving place, the universe as a supportive place, you're going to have a much easier time in coping with physicality than if you see the world as unsupportive, because now you're going to have to constantly swim upstream, resisting all the negativity that an unsupportive bar magnet is naturally attracting your way. If you can sit on that bar magnet that it's a supportive universe or a supportive God, a supportive power, only love, You're going to be able to not require as much energy to have things kind of go your way because you're swimming with the current as opposed to upstream. And that's really you're sitting on the bar magnet. And the Course in Miracles says there's only the bar magnet in reality of love out there. Time and space, which is the illusion of separation, where opposites appear to be real. There's the bar magnet of fear and all its subdivisions: sickness, lack, poverty, uh, on and on. Those are all subsets of the bar magnet of fear. Okay,
Yeah,
resist.
I would concur with this for sure. And I don't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to like
That's fine.
definitely say I hear yeah, when we try, like if we were to like compare the stars, is what you're saying, is basically still having a mindset that there could be something bad. But when we choose to say to choose like something that we see desirable, like in other words, out of love, and then we would, out of love, we would choose the same for someone else, the same that we would choose. That's what I love, is that this was actually the idea really came about because some people will just like say, okay, that's all we can afford, put her there, put him there, that's all we can afford, and not even try to see the vision of that's not what I would want this. And it's not really even still about the division. It's just about, well, I feel that I would want this level of care and love for for me. So I'm going to choose the same level of care and love, and I'm going to see it, at least have the vision for it to happen. So, yeah. And that's not even with thinking about, yeah. So what you're saying, Tom, is I can really relate that if we were going to say we could have this or we could have that, that's still a division. But to not even have a focus on something being bad or good, but just more like this is my desire and this is my desire for the other person, the same type thing coming from love. Yeah, I mean, it is a hard thing to, I think, explain, but I hear what you're saying, and yeah, I concur with that. It's what all of you are saying. It's pretty grandiosa.
Well, this has been a wonderful, wonderful morning. And I really appreciate all these conversations and sharing. So thank you very much, Andy, for jumping in. I've missed you. I
I'll
know that
miss
you
you
have been.
too. Well,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know
you know
that
what
you
I'm doing?
have
I'm
been.
getting
Yeah,
off
go ahead.
Clubhouse a lot. Actually, is what I'm doing because I had let I had to, I think I told you, rehome my pet. And
Yeah.
to do that, it brought me through a whole bunch of emotions that I had to experience to
Oh,
s- to gauge. Yeah, I just needed to actually experience emotion because that's a real difficult thing has been a difficult thing for me to allow myself to experience emotion. I was replacing it with fear, and so I didn't want to do that this time. So I had to, yeah, I really gave myself a lot of pampering and time and space to, observe emotion and
yeah. There's sometimes
experience it.
we need to have balance in between the logical concepts and learnings and the experience itself. I mean, it's not enough to have. I know that Andy has a cold right now, but I'm gonna finish this part. There's not enough. I mean, it's not enough to just read the book. It's not enough to understand the concepts in the book. You can understand that, but to find meaning on them, you need to have time to experience as well. And that is and that it's the way that you really gain wisdom in life, I guess, when you have yourself going through this kind of learnings in books and and yeah, receiving experience from others is also a good way, but experiencing life with your own emotions, with your own perceptions, and testing your own concepts in the interactions that you have with the level of the form is what will give you the meaning. I can understand words in a book, I can understand what other people said, but unless you go through the experience, it will not become like a certainty, like a yeah, a truth for itself. So it's a good thing for us to bear in mind that if we spend our entire day connecting only to books and only to hear podcasts and all those things, it's also a way of the ego to keep you apart from the living experience. Breathing is a miracle itself. Going through life, holding our fears like a learning experience instead of something that is gonna kill us or make us miserable, it's something that we are going to deal with now that we have been doing this process of realizing who we really are. Because that's part of this A Course in Miracles process, is understanding that the fear that you have inside of you is nothing but a tiny mind idea that needs to be corrected. So in order for you to correct it, you don't get to dismiss the fear or reject it. It's just going through, and that can only be done by disconnecting from text and others' experience and going through life yourself and going through life with your own emotions to find that truth behind it. So well, I guess it's time for me to just say goodbye. I guess I have shared and I feel complete for today. But everybody's welcome to share if anything has anything else to add to this discussion, and I'm very, very happy to hear and be here. But I'm gonna help them, yeah, give the mic to somebody else. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday morning.
Me too, everybody. I'm off to the races. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. And if there's anything else we could do, let me know. Bye.
Create a great day. Namaste. Bye.
Thank you, Tom. Big hugs.
You know.